Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jazzy. So, it has been a couple of days that I've been at my parents' house, and so much has happened, honestly, that I've gotten out my camera, and I think I've vlogged a few things, but I really don't think I actually picked my camera up all that much, now that I think of it. I actually don't think I picked my camera up at all, now that I think of it. I did take a couple of pictures, because I wanted to do a story time for you guys, that is going to be just a part of this vlog, but yesterday, my mom and I, so my dad was out of town yesterday for the night, and my mom and I, we were so bored. We were like, what do we do? We always look forward to having that, one-on-one time. But then when the night comes, we really don't do anything together at night. And we're poor. So, it's not like we're going to go out to dinner or anything like that. So, we decided we were going to go pick up Burger, which if you guys, it's not really called Burger. It's called Tops Burgers. But if you guys have been around a while, you already know I love Tops Burgers. It's a gas station restaurant around here. Literally, it's in a gas station. And, they have such delicious burgers, so yummy, so affordable. So we decided to pick up these burgers and go park at the river area where the bridge is. And so my mom and I were parked there for literally less than 15 minutes, and we both noticed this guy floating. I wish so badly I would have taken a picture of what he was doing, because it was honestly super weird, but we weren't really talking about it at the time, because we were actually talking about the Gabby Petito case and the Brian Laundrie case at that time. So we were really invested in our conversation. But while we were talking about it, I was looking off into the distance, and I saw this guy who looked like he was struggling, because there was supposed to be really bad storms coming through yesterday and today. And so there was this guy, he had this big flyer thing. It was a kite that you surf in the water basically with. And these three people were flying their kites in the Bay Area, and one of them was way far away from them. Literally, he was so far from the other two. I'm talking they were on the other side of the bay. It was they were not flying together. I didn't imagine that they were flying together. And so anyway, we're watching this guy in the water while we're having this conversation, and he is kind of struggling. The waves were really crashing, and he kept being underneath of his kite, because his kite kept being over top of his body. And I think I vocalized it to my mom and said I don't know what's going on over here. Is the guy okay? And we kept watching for a while, and then we saw his whole body was out of water, sitting on something, we thought. And so I was okay, he's good. So then we kind of just started talking again. We were just in our conversation, and then all of a sudden this guy we were both clearly pretty distracted by him, because we both were still watching. We talked to each other about it afterwards, and we were did you see that bike rider walk up to him? And my mom saw it too. So I think we both were still watching him, making sure he was okay. But neither of us knew what to do, because it's do you call the cops on someone if they're perfectly fine? Now we look crazy because he's just riding his fly kite thing, and we are over here thinking he's drowning. And so anyway, he was drowning is what we found out, or at least what it looked like. I can't, you guys, I know that's going to be too loud for you guys, but it looked like he was definitely drowning. And so this guy, because every time he would get up out of the water, and then I think the wind would pull his kite onto his body, probably suffocating him, now that I think of it. But there were a lot of people sitting out there. It wasn't just us. So I mean, you always try and default to oh, maybe somebody else will handle this situation. But at the same time, we were just nervous, because there were times when he looked like he knew what he was doing, and he didn't look like he was struggling. So I was just well, maybe he's not struggling. Actually, at one point, my mom was I think his kite is a beginner kite. I think maybe he's it's a makeshift kite or something. He made it himself. It was a conversation that wasn't a big deal, but apparently, turns out this guy was getting suffocated, I think. We still don't know. We honestly have no idea. But what happened was he got pushed up into the side of the wall area at where the bridge is, and he was kind of just sitting there, and we just figured he was just sitting there. But then this bike guy goes down to talk to him, and we couldn't hear anything. We love to roll the windows down when this type of stuff happens, because we want to be involved, but we don't want to get too close. And so we were listening. We couldn't hear him yelling. We couldn't hear like him and the bike guy talking to each other, but we're pretty sure that they did. And then out of nowhere, this guy like pulls up in this like Jeep situation and jumps out of, like, literally flies out of his car, running down the hill to this guy that has his kite machine. And we couldn't see it, you guys. It was so unfortunate. We were parked in like a weird spot where like when the guy pulled in to jump out, we like couldn't see where the guy was anymore, if that makes sense. So like this is where the guy pulled in, and so we were over here. We no longer could see the activity. So my mom and I said to my mom, we need to turn around. You have to pull around. We need to check out what this situation is, because we're getting some entertainment at the moment. And it turned out this guy the guy that pulled up in the Jeep had to pull this guy's whole body up out of the water with his kite. Like, really, I don't know how this guy did it, because it had to take a lot of muscle. I don't think we could have even done it if we tried. Like, you kind of feel like after that type of situation goes on, you kind of feel bad. You feel guilty for not noticing that this guy was drowning when you kind of knew he might be. And it's like, it's just horrible. These are the types of situations that make you realize that if you think something might be off, it probably is. And if you think it, say it, or something like that. Like, if you think something could be going on, you should say something, because even if he wasn't drowning, he would have just said to us, no, I'm good, thanks though. But you just feel weird, like kind of embarrassing the guy if he was really a beginner, and like we're kind of like, are you drowning out there? And so anyway, the guy pulls him up out of the water, and the guy's fine. The guy that we think was drowning with the kite surfing thing, he looked fine. He stood right up, he shook the guy's hand, and like he had a big smile on his face. He didn't look like he was struggling really all that much. But had it been like an hour later, it would have been dark and nobody would have seen this guy. He would have been stuck down there. Nobody would have known to come and pull him out. Like, there was no way he could have gotten out of the water by himself, but we didn't imagine he was trying to get out of the water. So then me and my mom are sitting there and we're just questioning so many things, because we can't hear anything. We can't hear anything they're saying. It's very obvious that the guy maybe wanted to go back in the water too, the kite surfer guy. And so it was almost like, was he really drowning, or like what was going on there? I think he was. I think the current probably pulled him over there, because then what happened was we were trying to figure out, we were really dissecting the situation, and we were trying to figure out if the guy that pulled up in the Jeep that was like ran down to him, if they knew each other and like he was his watch guy. Because I even said, while the guy was out there windsurfing, I was like, he should not be doing this alone. We did have conversation throughout, like while we were having our other conversation, like throughout it, I was like, what is he doing out there alone? I really feel like he should have some sort of watcher that watches him, or that you shouldn't be windsurfing by yourself or kite surfing or whatever in the water, especially not during a storm. It's not safe. And so we did have those conversations. So then we thought maybe the guy that pulled up was his watcher and he was watching from afar, just like we were, but he was his friend. You know what I'm saying? But then me and my mom, we just kept watching, and he was shaking the guy's hand too many times. He shook the guy's hand at least 6 times in that interaction. And like, if you're shaking someone's hand, you probably don't know each other. I think he was just like so grateful that the guy saved his life, or at least tried to save his life, even if the guy wasn't struggling. I'm so sorry, you guys. I really do have to turn the AC on. It is too hot. So as I was saying, they were shaking each other's hands like crazy. It was like we were really trying to read into the situation and hope they knew each other. I think to make ourselves feel less bad, because obviously we weren't stopping to help this guy, but they definitely didn't know each other, because in the end what happened was the kite surfer guy ended up asking Jeep guy, hey, is there any way I can put my thing? We don't know how the conversation went down, actually, because we couldn't hear them at all, but you speak for them. And so we were saying, oh, looks like he's asking the Jeep guy if he can put his kite in his Jeep. So then what ended up happening was kite guy ended up putting his kite in Jeep guy's Jeep, and Jeep guy ended up taking kite guy all the way over to his vehicle, which was pretty far away, like literally streets, like very far away, honestly. And so we had to follow, because we had to know what was going on here. We had to know if they knew each other, because at this point we're still kind of questioning. Maybe they know each other. It's a little weird to get in someone's car, but I guess the guy was very nice, but kind of weird to get in a stranger's car. But I guess he didn't probably want to carry his kite all the way back to his car, or his truck. Apparently he was actually a kite surfer instructor, the kite surfer guy, which is what we found out later after following them. So we get back, or they get in their car, they do a U-turn, and my mom is like, gotta wait a couple cars back. So we wait a couple cars back, and then the two cars that got in front of us ended up leaving and turning. So we're sitting right in the back. And by the way, meanwhile, he can't shut his like back thing because the vehicle was not made to carry this large kite, obviously. And so the back truck like was open, the bed of the vehicle, and so like they could see right into our car. Like it was obvious we were honestly stalking them, but we really just wanted to know. We had to know. We needed the free entertainment. So we ended up driving over. I'll actually put a picture in. We ended up driving over and parking like really creepily across the way from where the two of them parked, and they were like shaking hands more. I mean, so much shaking of the hands that we believe that there was no way they actually knew each other. They must not have known each other, and this guy just saved this other guy's life. And then after the guy left, the Jeep guy, after he drove off, kite guy went to the water and he talked to the other two kite people that were in the water. So our theory is that he told the other two kite people, you know, I got blown over there. The other two kite people were probably like, buddy, you need to have a partner. What are you doing going at the water alone like this, especially when the weather is so bad? I mean, you guys, the weather was really bad. Like, it was really choppy in the water. And so I'm sure they were, unless they were supposed to be looking out for him, and he was telling them, like, you guys weren't looking out for me, so thanks for nothing. But it was all very crazy. Maybe it's a you had to be there kind of story, but I couldn't wait to tell you guys. I wish I would have been vlogging that whole interaction, because it was pretty crazy, the whole situation. But then, you know, we didn't really know what was happening, so until you get to the end of it, you don't know how crazy it is. But in the end, they really didn't know each other, and this guy just stopped on the side of the road to help the other guy, which is just so nice. I just love Floridians like that. Speaking of Floridians, this morning my mom and I went for a walk at the beach, and this the water is still like super choppy, and so the lifeguards went out into the water this morning and they were surfing, and this lifeguard surfed. He like got up and he was on his surfboard, and then these other lifeguards went down under the water. Like, we didn't know what happened to them, so we were kind of like watching them, like really worried. Meanwhile, other surfer guy comes onto the back onto the sand, and he's like asking us, did you see that? Wasn't that cool? And we're over here like, I'm pretty sure your friends just drowned. So like, we didn't see what he was up to, but it was just crazy, you guys. It's been a crazy couple of days, but I'm going to go to the beach now, and I'm going to read my book. I'm actually really frustrated because I was supposed to bring my towel, and I forgot my towel, so I'm going to have to sit, and I really need to tan my back, but it is what it is. At least I'm wearing sunscreen. It would be a whole situation if I wasn't. So I'm going to go do that now, and I will check in with you guys after. Okay, you guys. That, first of all, I really enjoyed myself. Let me just start by saying that. This book is amazing so far. I'm literally only 2 chapters in, though, because I got screwed. Literally, I got screwed. There was a whole beach for this family to go and sit at, and, like, I turned around, so I was laying down on my chair, because, like I told you guys, I forgot a towel. So I was laying down on my chair, ass in the air. And this family decided, I'll put a video on screen. It kind of shows how close they were to me, but they were really close to me, honestly. And they were playing badminton. I don't know if I got that on video, but I don't understand. You have a whole entire beach, and you choose to lay, or to put do your stuff next to somebody who's clearly trying to enjoy their book. I was clearly reading my book, and like, people just, it's like no social awareness whatsoever. There was a whole beach for those people to sit at, or not sit at, but play their game at. And I understand that, you know, it's a whole beach, it's a public beach, and it's expected that there's going to be people at it. But you guys will see. Hopefully I got a video. I think I got a video of how much space there was. I tried to take it discreetly, even though I was kind of like, I should do it not discreetly at all, because it was just rude. I was facing them Literally, I'm laying there reading my book. I wonder if you guys will see. I don't know if I should have taken a picture of where my chair was. Hopefully I got a video to show you where the chair was in comparison to where they were. And I was laying on my stomach, reading my book, facing them. I'm annoyed because I was facing that, like, exactly where they set their whole family up, which is fine. But now you're playing badminton, the balls keeps coming at me while I'm trying to enjoy my book, and all I'm hearing back and forth is poof, poof, poof. And it's so horrible because literally in the first chapter of this book, actually, you guys, the lady in the book was like, let me see, the lady that wrote the, like, first part of the book, you know how sometimes someone else writes the preface of the book or whatever, or forward, that's what it was called. Literally, in the first part, she says, take a moment and look around you. First note what colors and textures and objects you see, and just take them in. And then it's like, it goes on, basically, and it was very good. It was actually a very moving thing that I read prior to this situation. And then she's like, I want you to listen and hear what's around you. Maybe it's absolutely silent. If so, maybe you can hear your own heart beating, or maybe you hear the noise of your kids fighting or yelling family, or yelling mom as they try to get to you. And as you hear the noise around you, pay attention to what you think about. Is your first thought that you can never catch a break, that you just need a few minutes to yourself, or that maybe that noise of possible annoyance could also be the noise that you cherish, knowing that one day, not too many years from now, it will be the last time you have kids searching the house for you. All I have to say is, well, I read that part, thank God those people weren't there, because I was enjoying myself at that moment. But then they were there, and I just have to say, I don't think I will ever look back on their annoyance and think, man, I miss those days, because that was annoying. Like, I don't want you to be that close to me while I'm trying to clearly enjoy a book. It's not like I had headphones in. It was obvious I was enjoying a book. Usually, you pay attention to those things before you're racquetballing and almost hitting me in the face while my ass is literally up in the air for your whole kids to see, which I understand that's my choice on what I choose to wear and how I choose to, lay. But I really wasn't expecting a family of 10 to be next to me. There really were 10 people, but you saw the video. It was just annoying because there was a whole beach that they could have been at, and they chose to be right next to me. But it's fine. I said, okay, this is my cue that it's time for me to get out of Dodge. I probably would have stayed there all night, honestly, if they didn't. So there we go. There's the perks of what just went down. But I just have to say, if you're one of those people that doesn't look at the people around you and say, that person looks like they're trying to enjoy a nice leisurely book by the ocean, getting their back tanned, and say, maybe, kids, we should move a little bit further down, especially if we're freaking racquetballing all over the place. And it wasn't the kids even that were racquetballing. It was the adults. And that's what gets me, is the adults were racquetballing right near my face. I mean, it was like I was here. They were like right here. I mean, it was just annoying, you guys. So anyway, I'm going to go home now, I guess, and we're getting Chipotle tonight for dinner, so that should be good, because Barbacoa closed. If you guys have been here a while, I know every time I like refer back to my old videos when I talk to you guys, because I just assume you guys know everything, but Barbacoa is the best place ever, and they closed in this area, so now we are doing Chipotle. It's not really comparable at all to Barbacoa, but that's what's happening here. So I'm gonna run home, and I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully I will be in a better mood.
On my own, but I'm never alone. On a road to wherever I want. And you see, I go with the wind, the places I've been, I keep them within. Holding on to a feeling so strong.
So I am back at the beach now, but something crazy happened yesterday. So when I pulled into my mom's parking spot, so my parents have, like, my mom has her car and then my dad has his car. So like in their parking area, and then they also have like their like garbage can and the recycling bin. And so when I go to park in behind my mom, like typically I have to like push up against the back of her Jeep, kind of. Sorry, you guys, there's people behind me that are really chatty. But I typically have to push up against like the back of her Jeep where she has her big tire. And usually I do a really amazing job pulling in. I'm usually like, I actually got pictures the first day. I was so impressed with myself. I literally had like this much space between the two. And I texted the pictures to Dominic, and Dominic was like, you probably hit it. And then when you parked, the car like leaned back, and he's so right. In the end, originally I was like, he's just raining on my parade of how close I got. I was so proud. And then the next time, yesterday, I literally pull in, you guys, and I had a massive dent this morning in my car, in the front of my car. Luckily, I was able to like pop the dent out, because like with the Fiat, it's such a cheap car that like it's very poorly made. If I'm being real with you guys, like my handles are broken on it. It just really gets dented really easily, because it really is like a toy vehicle. So literally even my like Fiat like horn has a dent in it, because Dominic honked the horn and it made a dent in my horn. But anyway, that was a little frightening this morning, because we came out I had to back my car out when we were going to take my mom's Jeep, and I had a huge dent in the front of my vehicle. I wish I would have taken a picture for you guys, but it was actually, I'll take a picture when I get out. There's like marks on my vehicle from her tire, because it was really in there. But luckily we were able to fix it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to the beach right now. I just want to tell you guys that story because it was honestly pretty scary. I will check in with you guys later though. It is a beautiful day out. I got my suntan lotion on, and we're hoping that we can get a tan on our back this time, because I did bring a towel so I could lay down. All done at the beach today, and let me just say, it is just common practice for people to play badminton around me. Apparently, literally the whole entire beach again and they're playing even closer than yesterday. Like yesterday, actually, I went back and looked at the footage, and I think it felt closer than it was. Because when I was watching the video, I was like, it doesn't feel that close, honestly. Or it doesn't look that close. I think it just felt close. But today, they were like literally, it was bad. I should have recorded it today, honestly. But they were having such a good time, and I'm just like, maybe this is a vibe. I mean, we are at the beach, and I shouldn't probably be raining on everybody's parade, but I was really enjoying my book, and it was really difficult because I'm at like the lower pace beach because I wanted to be where there weren't a lot of people, and there still were a lot of people, obviously, but like there was people everywhere. I mean, it's just crazy. There was people literally in all different places listening to their music. You guys know the vibe of the beach when it's a big, like, when it's spring break, especially, and like the summer season, it's just everybody's listening to a different version of music. It was really hard for me, honestly, to read my book. I was trying, but then I had to leave because the people started doing the badminton near me again, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Especially because this time they were doing badminton and they were trying to practice for softball or baseball or something, and they were throwing it very hard. And I was like, if that flies any further, it's going to hit me. And if one of you doesn't catch it, and they were little kids, I was like, I will end up with a big bruise. And I'm just baby about that kind of stuff, apparently. So the minute that they were playing for a while, like a little bit further away from me, and so I was a little comfortable with that because they were playing in like a group of 4, and they weren't really throwing it very hard to the person that was over near me. But then when the 2 people left, they decided that they wanted to do baseball right next to me. Like literally, here I am, here they are, like standing. I mean, I do this to you guys all the time, like you're gonna be able to envision it, but like they were standing like right next to me, and I was just like, okay. And like not even next to me. It would have been different if they were standing like next to me and it was passing me every time, but like the guy was like 2 feet ahead of me, basically, so it would have hit me. I don't know what they were thinking. They weren't. I mean, let's be real. People don't really think about other people the way that I might, but I certainly would not be doing that, knowing that somebody is trying to enjoy her book. Well, but maybe I would. What do I know? I maybe have annoyed people in my lifetime when I go and sit next to them with my book. But the other day, actually, when Brie and I went to the beach, there was this girl, she was listening to I Hope You Dance. You guys know that song? She was listening to it, like, blasting it, and I said to Brie, I was like, man, I would love to be confident enough to be blasting that kind of song, like, just standing here in the line for the bathroom. Like, it's just crazy. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't know. I would rather blast it in my earlobes than out loud to everybody else. But anyway, I'm going home now, so I will talk to you guys later.
Saw you paint a picture of a face, a face that wasn't even close to mine.
That is a very pretty drink. You guys, my dad got the dragon fruit tea at Dunkin', and I have to say, I just tried it. 10 out of 10. Very delicious. Pretty sweet, though. Some of you won't like it. Elena would hate this.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space, so brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
Hey guys, so my trip is over basically. I literally have 2 days left here and it's going to be such bad weather that I really don't think I'm going to vlog at all. So I'm just going to wrap this video up here. I'm watching the sunset right now. Let's see if you guys can see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to. I'll take a video for you guys. But I'm watching the sunset right now. It's so beautiful. And also, it's just nice. It's very peaceful here. I don't know, you guys. We talk about it every time I'm visiting that I think I need to live near the water. It's just not, like, a good life for me, not living near the beach. Like, I just spent a very long time out at the beach, like 4 or 5 hours out at the beach. And it was so relaxing. I feel rejuvenated. I read my book. I just feel so me when I'm at the ocean. Like, any ocean makes me feel so me. And I'm really struggling talking to you guys right now, knowing the sunset's over here and I cannot look at it. But maybe I'll just do this. Let's see. We'll see if I still look good. I do, of course. I still look good. Nope, I don't. I have to include that. I wasn't going to, but I definitely have to. But the ocean itself just makes me feel so, like, I don't know. It just makes me feel like there's infinite possibilities for my life. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know there's a lot of cars going by, but it just makes me feel like my life has infinite possibilities when I look at an ocean. And, like, it's not just any body of water. Like, I'm looking at this body of water, which is a bay, and it's beautiful, and I love the sunset. It's gorgeous. But when I'm at the ocean, it just does something for me. I don't know. It just really does something for me. The thought of, like, how big the ocean is and, like, how really it's huge. And the beauty of just, like, the ins and outs of the water. You know, it's just my happy place. And I always, no matter how much I tell myself I love the mountains, I do love the mountains, but there is something about just a big open body of water that, like, is amazing to me. I think in the future I hopefully will own a boat one day and I'll be able to actually, like, go out on the water and it would just be amazing. Speaking of, we're supposed to go out on the water when I go visit Elena, so hopefully we'll get to do that. But I'm gonna wrap this up because the sun is going down. I hope you guys like this video. I love you guys so much. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you do like it. It really means a lot to me and it really helps support my channel and pushes my video out to more people. And make sure that you drop a comment. Those always mean the world to me, just because we obviously can communicate, but also it does push my videos out to more people and it just makes me feel so loved whenever I see you guys' comments. So I love you guys and I will see you guys in the next one.